Go.
Well, welcome everybody. Um, I'm Peter Weiler, and I'm going to be your host today for the DVMUG July 15th, 2025 Zoom meeting. We will follow the usual format, beginning with some news from Apple and followed by a series of videos. You can see the list on the screen. Don't be alarmed. There seem to be quite a few of them, but over half of them are 2 minutes or less in length. So they're all going to fit, I think. Um, at any rate, let's get started. This week's news. So you will find on the BBS or hopefully in the chat uh, this particular news list, and there will also be a video list for the videos that we'll be looking at later on during the meeting. So let's get started. Actually, we'll start with the first two items. So President Trump, his trade administrator, calls Apple's China ties a Silicon Valley soap opera. So the administration has been pressuring Apple Computer to ditch China. And Peter Navarro, who is Trump's trade advisor, is criticizing Apple for manufacturing iPhones out of the United States. And he's accused Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, of not doing much to change that. Um, and the message is that, just make them in the United States. But Apple can't just go ahead and, have a magic wand to restore production of iPads in this country. Over the last 50 years or so, the United States has been steadily moving production out of the United States and to other countries, mostly China right now. Um, Not only that, but the increased cost of labor alone would raise the price of iPhones substantially, and it would take years to train American workers to do what's being done in China and to some degree in India right now. Um, in fact, it's taken 9 years for actual production to get started, and India is way behind China in terms of how many iPhones they're able to produce. So Navarro says, well, use AI and advanced automation, and that should allow uh, the United States to become the sole producer of its iPhones. Um, Many people disagree, including Apple. Are there any comments or questions?
Was that Peter Navarro, the one who just got out of prison?
I don't know if it's the same person.
Yeah, I think it
It
was.
is.
It is the same guy.
I think
Yeah,
it's
well,
tomorrow that plays drums for Nirvana, I think is what it was.
well, I think being a former probation officer, I'd give about as much credit as bad breath to the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we all
well,
said at once this guy's a moron.
anyhow,
Yeah, he got caught. That's also an indication of his intelligence.
Yeah.
be that as it may,
Pete Strauss
Apple,
hold class here. Yeah.
yeah, be that as it may, Apple remains uh, in Trump's crosshairs. Lots of criticism and demands are being made by the president. Um, and again, uh, there's criticism of the reliance on China to make these iPhones.
Where are all the Trump branded products made, I wonder?
Was revealed that the original claim was they were made in America. That's absolutely not true, and this is backed off of that. They're made in China. They're Android clones with a gold finish. And It's like, give me a break.
Anyway, recently Trump has announced tariffs on various countries, as you probably are aware. Japan, Malaysia, South Korea, the Philippines are facing tariffs of 25%, Indonesia 32%, Thailand 36%, Vietnam even 20%. And these tariffs are set to go into effect very soon, August 1st. Unless, of course, the president extends the deadline, which he tends to do. Apple sources its components from more than 50 countries around the world, and the rare earth elements required to make an iPhone come from almost 80 countries. So there's no feasible way that Apple can source all of its iPhones from a single country, or all the ones that they make in this country at any rate. Trump has also threatened Apple with a 25% tariff unless it manufactures, well, as said before, all of its iPhones sold in this country and manufacture them in this country. This last point surprised me a bit that Mr. Trump complained that Cook has been building all over India and went so far as demanding that Apple stop expanding in India. And yet, here the complaint had been focused mostly at China. Are there any other comments or some questions related to this article?
Just this morning, I heard on KCBS that Apple had signed up for one of the rare locations in the United States to exploit rare earth mining up near the Nevada border. And I can't remember all the details, but apparently they found a very rich vein of rare earth material, and Apple
Yeah.
has got it.
Well, good to hear.
Regarding that phone, that T1 phone we were just talking about, minus the bling that's on it and the color, it's made in China, and you can get it on Amazon for $186.
That's not manufactured by Apple. The
No, it's not.
T1 phone? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on then. So, Meta, the company that we formerly called, what was it, Facebook, has lured an AI, artificial intelligence executive away from Apple by offering him a $200 million pay package. That's a lot of dinero. So the person in question his name is Roming, if I have pronounced that right, Roming Peng. And this 200 million would be paid in a package of payouts based on targets and over a period of a certain number of years, that sort of thing. The sheer size of it indicates that nobody is going to be competing with it. In fact, Apple itself, if they tried to meet this compensation, would have to pay Mr. Pang more than Tim Cook earns. So whether Apple takes on Meta in an employee money battle or or not, the companies are persistently hungry for specialized AI talent, and poaching is going on out there. Apple might be forced to get into those money fights. Any questions about this one?
So there is a great podcast called Hard Fork, which is from the New York Times weekly podcast, and they specialize in talking about these kind of things. It's about technology, but they talk about the AI industry, especially. And what they have to say about this is that Apple and Meta are basically in the same boat, which is neither one is at the cutting edge of AI. So top AI talent wouldn't want to go to either company. So they're kind of up the creek. So it's interesting that Zuckerberg is poaching from Apple because probably he couldn't poach at any price from companies like OpenAI. And they actually talked about the fact that Zuckerberg is offering $1 billion salary for top AI talent.
Oh my God. When I was putting this together, I didn't know if Roming Pang was a woman or a man, and I thought it would be interesting to see what he looks like. So I did find this picture on the internet.
Oh my God.
So looks like a young fellow, and
Just a kid.
right.
He's not
Looks
old.
like he needs that big salary to get enough to put some meat on his bones.
He can have my diet. I know exactly how to do that.
Yeah. Anyhow, are there any other comments or questions on this one? Okay, one more item of news. That's that there now are iPhone virus pop-ups or things that look like pop-ups that you'll see it appear on your phone or your device, and they're showing up on YouTube. This is a close-up of the previous screen, so hopefully you can read what was written on it. You know, if you aren't discerning, you can look at a notice like this and think, this might just be for real. Uh, this one, as far as I can tell, doesn't have any English language mix-up in it. But what it is aimed at doing is getting you to install something on your computer. Go ahead and click that install button, and you're going to be in big trouble for sure. So this is a shareware kind of scam. They're very commonplace. What makes this one a bit unusual is that it's gotten to YouTube, which is not only maybe the most popular internet site online, but also one that takes a lot of pays a lot of attention to malware and keeping it off its platform. So this one they snuck in, and just for the record, the cyber criminals are focusing us older folk uh, more than any other age group, particularly those 65 and above. And uh, a little factoid, people who watch YouTube, the 55 plus years generation has more than doubled and is growing 80% faster than general adults viewing of YouTube. So keep paying attention, everyone. Any comments or questions?
Yeah, beware, there is another version of that, almost the same, and it's referencing McAfee software, virus software, and it appears on an iPhone, and it actually runs something in the background saying, yes, it's infected and this kind of stuff. And so just be aware that there is another, not just one, there is another variant of it at least running around doing the same thing.
Yeah. If I got a message of that sort on my iPhone, I might take a screenshot of it, but I think I also would shut my phone off and restart it. At
What
least,
do those pop-ups have to do with YouTube, though? I don't quite understand that.
well, I think the point of the article was that they're getting onto sites that make an effort to keep them screened off.
It's who they're targeting specifically.
Yeah.
I've
Thanks.
seen it.
Mhm.
Well, where are they popping up from? That's what I don't understand.
I think this one was looked into, and the writer of the article, and by the way, for those of you interested in any of these articles, the links to each is showing and is on the sheets of news links. At any rate, um, he found that it was a Chinese startup company, evidently, that had produced that particular um, little piece of malware. And how he knew that or figured it out, I don't know, but that's in the article. Anything else? Okay.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jan. Jan's hand is up.
YouTube, they sell advertising space, so I could see how it could be on YouTube. But I wonder if people who have YouTube Plus or whatever, so you don't get ads, maybe they wouldn't get that.
Mhm.
I just looked at the news article and it says it's a YouTube ad pop up. So somebody just bought an ad with this in there, and it, like, you see ads on YouTube and you'll see that. It doesn't say it comes from the YouTube app. I don't know if you get YouTube. I guess you should get ads in the YouTube app too, I guess, yeah. Not just on the web.
As I recall from the article, I
The
think,
article is very sketchy. It's not very much information.
yeah, there isn't all that much information, but it said that it wasn't truly a pop-up. It was a different kind of an
It's a
image.
genuine ad. It's a genuine YouTube ad that somebody paid for.
Hmm. Anything else? Okay. By the way, I have a limited view of the people attending. So if someone has their hand up and I miss it, I appreciate it when let me know so we can let people have their questions.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. So we're moving on to videos, and here's the listing of 7 videos. You can see the length of each. It's altogether 37 minutes worth of video, so it's not really unusually long. It's typical of what we show, and many of them are quite short. So we'll start with one of the short ones. This is from Apple support.
When you delete photos or videos in the Photos app, you can recover them from the recently deleted album within 30 days. Here's how. In Photos, scroll down to Utilities and tap Recently Deleted. Tap View Album. Then authenticate with Face ID, Touch ID, or your passcode. Photos and videos in the album show the days remaining before deletion. After that time, they will be permanently deleted. From here, tap Select and choose one or more items you'd like to recover. When you're done selecting items, tap the More button and tap Recover. Then tap Recover again to confirm. If you'd like to recover all items from the recently deleted album, tap Select. Tap the More button. Tap Recover All. Then tap Recover to confirm. Now, all items in the recently deleted album will be returned to your library. Delete. Recover. Whew!
And so there we are. Any comments or questions? Okay, let's move on to the next. Gary is here. He is going to, I see this properly, show us how to share what you want from your Mac and iPhone contact card, as opposed from what you don't want. Here we go.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. let me show you how to share your contact information with somebody else without sharing everything. So let's say you want to share your contact information with somebody else. You can send them a copy of your contact from your Mac or your iPhone, but your contact may have things in it that you don't want to share at that moment. For instance, when sharing with somebody for a business reason, you may not want to include your home address, your home email or phone number, or your birthday. Fortunately, there's a way to specify exactly what you want to share when you share your card. You do it differently depending upon whether you're on the Mac or the iPhone. So let's start with the Mac. On the Mac, let's go to the Contacts app. And in the Contacts app, you see all the contacts here. And hopefully you should see one contact that is you, and it has this special symbol next to it. If no contact here represents you, you want to, of course, create that. You probably already have one, though. Just make sure it's got the symbol next to it. If it doesn't, select it, and then go to Card and use Make This My Card. And now we'll add that symbol there. And then your contact information will be used in a variety of ways. Like, for instance, specifying the writer in a Pages document in the info with that document. Now, to share your contact information, you can use the Share button here, and you can then select how you want to share. You can also go to Card and then Share My Card, and you can email or message your card from here. You can also drag and drop, so you can turn this into a file that you can share in a variety of different ways, like over a different messaging app, by just dragging it out and dropping it into the Finder, into a Finder window, or in this case, just the desktop. And I get this VCF card. A VCF card is a very standard format that should work on any system. It's not Apple specific. So I can quit contacts here and just have this file. I can preview it by using Quick Look, just like I can preview an image or a PDF. So I can select it and then press the space bar, and it'll show me the information in it. And here I can see all that information was included. My home phone number, my home email, home address, my birthday, all this stuff. I don't want to be in this card if I'm going to share it with somebody in a business situation. So let's look at how you can create a VCF card that doesn't have that. The way you do that is different on the Mac than it is on the iPhone. Let's start on the Mac. So I'm going to go back into the Contacts app here. And the key is to go into Contact Settings, then go to the vCard section, and you have to turn on Enable Private Me Card. Now, once you have that turned on, when you go to edit your card, you're going to see something you wouldn't have seen before. These check boxes here on the right. These indicate what gets shared. So I'm going to turn off my home phone number, my home email address, my birthday, and my home physical address. And then I'm going to click Done. Now, look what happens when I drag this out to the Finder and I get a VCF file. If I select it and then use the spacebar to preview, you could see I get only that information that I specified, my work phone number, my work email address. The rest isn't included. Now, I can go back in and edit again and turn all this stuff on. It won't change this card that I've exported. So I can rename this as like my business contact card and only send this when I want to just give somebody that basic information. And then I can have maybe another one or just share from here when I had everything turned on normally. One note here, and that's about the note. If you turn this off, you would think your notes don't get included in the VCF file, but there's always been this bug where they do. So hopefully you don't have any notes about yourself. This is something you would typically use for another person, not yourself anyway. And of course, if you have all your private information set up with those checkboxes, you can now share it in all the different ways and would only include the parts that were checked. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. So how about on the iPhone? Does it work in the same way? Well, no, not at all, actually. If you go to Settings and then you go to Apps at the bottom and then you go to Contacts, you won't find a setting for a private Me card. You will find My Info, and this is where you can set up which of the contacts is you. But when you go to Contacts here and look at your card like I'm looking at right here, if I go to edit it, there are no checkboxes next to any of this. So you can't define what is sent when you share your contact info. So the way it's actually done on the iPhone is you do it in the moment. So here I am looking at my contact, and let's say I want to share that with somebody. I can go down here to the bottom and there's share contact. And at that moment, you can see all these checkboxes, and I can turn off things and turn on other things. And then when I select done, then it will go to the next step, which allows me to share it, the AirDrop, messages, mail. However, I can even go down here and save to files, and it will save a VCF file with just the things that were checked. So every time you share your contact, you have to specify what is being shared. If you want to have a VCF file ready to go, you can just export it now with exactly the information you want, and then have that in your iCloud Drive and share that file instead. Now, there's a special mode on the iPhone that allows you to bring two iPhones together. It's a function of AirDrop called Bring Devices Together. If you go to Settings, General, and then AirDrop, you'll see Bring Devices Together. If both phones have it turned on, you can actually bring two phones together like this, and then it will show up on the top like that. It does a special thing. Before you tap share, tap on your contact right here like that. And now you can go through and check what information is shared and what isn't. The difference here between the functionality in the Contacts app is it actually remembers the checkboxes. So it just has my settings from before. So if you just set this up to only share the basic business information, then the next time you use Bring Devices Together, it should share the same information. But you can always just tap on the contact there to check, and then tap Save, and then Share. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click.
That was a very useful one.
Yeah, I don't know when they started doing that, in 18 or something, but I have used the devil out of that thing, between students, people, whatever, because you don't always want everybody to know where you live, but some people you do. I think Apple hit the nail on the head that day.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I've had only a rudimentary idea of how to share. So this is a valuable video.
A lot of people don't even have their Me contacts set up. And I look in their address book and they have their name. They don't have their email address, their phone number, anything. That's used for autofill on the web. You go to put something in and it'll say, we'll fill in all that stuff for you.
Yeah. I mean, in the old days, you had to have like 3 or 4 different cards. I'd have one like said Mike Work, Mike Friends, Mike Real Good Friends, so I could have to figure out which card I was going to send them. Now I just have one. It's handy as hell. Pardon the language.
Well, I don't like it. Sometimes people send me these contacts, and then my only choice is to put it in my contacts. I don't want the contact there. Is there some way around that?
Don't
You put it in and edit it afterwards.
But you just don't have contact at all?
Well, I may already have their contact, probably. And
well, when you bring a contact in and it matches, it'll ask you, it says there's a duplicate. Do you want to merge it?
Yeah. It'll say, do you want to keep this one, keep the old one, or merge? Yeah.
Right.
Just merge them. So you won't have two of John's. You'll have one that has if he gave you part of the information one time, part the next time, they'll just merge it and you just have one contact with John.
And what if you send one to a PC person? What does it look like? The same thing? Or?
The VCF file is universal. It's not a DOC file or JPEG. It'll work anywhere.
Yeah.
I brought over all my VCF files from Outlook when I had to migrate from a work computer to my home. It worked just fine.
Yeah.
It works fine.
So, Mike, now you have us all wondering whether we would get your work card, your friend's card, or your very good friend's card.
Minimum a friend's card. Kenji, I'll give you my very good friend so you can find out where I live.
Oh, thank goodness.
We've got gun turrets on the top. It's not a problem.
The bring two phones together feature reminds me when they first came out with the Palm. You could get two Palms and they would infrared share your cards between each other.
Yeah, a little Palm Pilot.
Beam me your card. Don't hand me no paper card. Beam it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it you have to do to activate that?
You have to turn it on both
Yeah.
phones in contacts, what preferences, share,
Settings,
oh,
general,
it's called bring the phones together or something?
Yeah, bringing the phones together.
settings, general, and then AirDrop.
Contact. I would imagine it's in contacts.
Well, it's settings, general, AirDrop, and then there's bring phones together.
It's under AirDrop.
You don't have to bring phones together to AirDrop. Um,
Well, to make
that's
this
Oh, no,
contacts
that's where the
thing,
setting is.
yeah, no, you have AirDrop on both machines. You have in AirDrop, you have the bring phones together switch on them both. And when you actually get them really close together, it automatically pops up and offers to share the card.
Yep.
It's got a little wavy line that runs through it, let you know you're doing it.
I don't see it in AirDrop. Well, I'm looking at the Mac, so I'm looking in the wrong place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be on the phone.
right.
Because I'm not coming over to your house, Kenji. Just bring my Mac next to yours.
Well, maybe we should move on, but I have a question. Twice there was a Apple kind of ringing sound that
Yeah, I
started.
heard that too. Somebody's phone was ringing somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it was mine, but I have no
Kenji probably
idea.
muted. Everybody's muted. That's probably
Is that your ringtone?
That is my ringtone, I must admit, but I don't think it was me.
Well, I checked, everybody else was muted.
Right.
Yeah. And my ringtone is Santana, so
You're
yeah.
guilty. We're going to call ICE.
Yep.
I've actually turned the button off so this phone won't be interrupting the show, evidently. So anyway, moving on, we have another video. This one is a shorty from Fox Tech. I got an Apple Watch. I've had it for, well, close to a year now, but you can download podcasts to this watch and not bother to have your iPhone and be able to listen to the podcasts, which seems kind of cool. Of course, if you want to do that, you need some earbuds or some headphones probably, or you'll be walking around like this. So anyway, let's check that one out.
You're watching Fox Tech, and in this video, I'll show you how to download podcasts to your Apple Watch so you can listen on the go without your iPhone. Let's get right into it. Start by opening the Watch app on your iPhone. Scroll down until you see the podcasts section and tap on it. Here, you'll have two options: add episodes automatically or manually. If you want full control, choose manual and select specific shows or episodes you'd like to sync to your Apple Watch. Once you've made your selection, place your Apple Watch on its charger and make sure it's connected to Wi-Fi or near your iPhone. Syncing will begin automatically while the watch is charging, and depending on the file size, it might take a few minutes to complete. After everything's synced, open the podcast app on your Apple Watch to access your downloaded episodes. To listen, just connect a pair of Bluetooth headphones or AirPods directly to your watch. You'll be able to play the episodes without needing your phone nearby, which is perfect for workouts or commutes. If you want to manage how much space podcasts take up on your watch, go back to the podcast section in the Watch app and adjust your storage or syncing settings as needed. Thanks for watching. If this helped you out, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Fox Tech for more helpful Apple Watch tips. See you later.
Okay, any thoughts on this one?
I think one of the key words in that one was depending on the file size. The storage in that watch is limited, and I would be careful about downloading more than one or two podcasts. I don't know how much the watch will hold, actually.
I see here a Series 10 holds 64 gigabytes.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Series 7 and I'm using 11 gigabytes out of 32.
And how big is a podcast typically?
If you are just listening and it's just an audio file, it's relatively small. but video files take up a lot more space.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
How do you delete a podcast from a watch?
I believe in that app he was working with, there was a delete button. I don't recall it specifically where, but there was, one where you can go through your array and delete links to some of them. Anything else?
I didn't know that you could connect Bluetooth headphones directly to the watch.
Can anyone confirm that one?
Well, we just saw it on the podcast. I
Yeah.
mean, on the video.
Yeah, well, he said you could, but I would wonder if my Bluetooth headsets would be confused about when I turn them on, what it should connect to, my watch or my phone.
I think you select that.
Yeah, that is a selection that you make, which
Yep.
device you want to Bluetooth.
Yeah, looking at the settings on my watch, there's Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. So, for instance, my hearing aids are tuned into my phone so that any conversation I have with the phone comes through my hearing aids. And I assume that I could select that on my watch as well.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to the next video. It's with Ellen Sweeney, and she's got nine tips for us. I'll let her explain them.
Hi there. If we haven't met, I'm Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. Today I'm showing you 9 super helpful Safari tips that can make your browsing easier, safer, and a lot more enjoyable, whether you're reading news, checking recipes, or shopping online. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Let's say you're reading a news article in Safari and the page is full of flashing ads or videos. This can be distracting. Just tap the reader view icon in the address bar. So this is the reader view icon. Just tap on that. Some options will appear. Choose Show Reader. It strips the page down to just the texts and images that you want to see, nice and clean. This is especially helpful for longer articles, or if your eyes get tired easily. You can even change the background to another color. So if I tap on the reader view icon again, now I have some other options. I can go back to the normal page by tapping Hide Reader, or I can choose a different background that it will help make my reading of this article easier. So another extra tip, this view works best on article-style pages like news, blogs, or recipes. While you're in Reader View, you'll see 2 A's, 1 small, 1 large. Tap the bigger A to increase the text size so that you don't strain your eyes when you're reading. You can try it out and find out which size works best for you. And Safari also remembers your preferred size on certain websites. It won't do it for all websites, but on certain ones, it will remember the size that you chose. To get out of Reader View, if I tap on the icon, I can choose Hide Reader View, and it takes me back to the normal web page. If you're looking for something specific like a recipe ingredient or a certain name inside of an article, tap the Share button. It looks like a square with an arrow. Scroll down and tap on Find on Page. Type in the word that you're looking for. I've already done that. Tap on Search. and Safari will highlight all of the words in the ingredient. This is a big time saver when reading long pages. If you want to customize Safari's start page, you'll need to open a new tab. To do that, you'll tap on the overlaid squares, tap on the plus sign, scroll to the very bottom, and tap on Edit. So right now, this is what the Safari page looks like. I have favorites, reading list, iCloud tabs. I'm going to go ahead and tap on Edit. And now I can remove sections that I don't use, like shared with you, or maybe suggestions. I could also remove iCloud tabs. And when I'm finished, now it gives me a cleaner look. It makes Safari more like your internet space, where I have my favorites and then my reading list. So you can give Safari a cleaner look on the home page. Turn off what you don't need to make your screen simpler. If you like to keep multiple websites open, maybe recipes, travel, and news, you can create tab groups. We'll tap on the tabs button, which is the two squares that are overlapping. Then we'll tap on the icon that looks like stacked lines. And then we're going to tap on New Empty Tab Group. We'll give that tab group a name. I'll name it Recipes. We'll tap on Save. And now you'll see that there's a home page created here. I want to add a recipe to this, so I'm going to tap where I have 22 tabs, and I'm going to locate that recipe that I had. If I push and hold on it, you'll see an option to move tab. I can select recipes, and now when we look down below, I have the 21 tabs, I have an option for recipes, and tech, and vacations. So these are all the tab groups that I have available to me. When you're finished, you can tap on Done. If you want to get back to your tab groups, just tap on the tab icon and swipe through them. And this way you have the option to keep things neatly organized and able to get to your tab groups quickly by just tapping on the overlapping square and rotating through. Here's a bonus tip. Tab groups sync across your devices if you also use an iPad or Mac. Sometimes you might land on a page that's in an other language. No worries, Safari can help. Tap the reader icon in the address bar and then choose Translate to English if it's available. This feature is built right in and can be very handy if you're researching travel or health topics. Not every site can be translated, but many common ones can. To protect your privacy and keep your browsing experience clean, go to Settings, scroll to the bottom, and tap on Apps. Tap on the S on the far right-hand side. Now tap on Safari and make sure that block pop-ups is turned on, as well as prevent cross-site tracking. These settings help block annoying pop-ups and stop websites from following your online activity. You only need to do this once. It'll stay on. While we're inside the Safari settings area, every now and then it's a good idea to clean things up. You'll want to go ahead and clear history and website data. This erases old websites and can help Safari run more smoothly. Don't worry, it doesn't delete your saved passwords. This also helps if Safari starts to feel slow. So just remember, tap on Clear Website, Data and History, and go ahead and do that every once in a while. Want to quickly get to a site that you visit frequently, like maybe your online bank or a blog or any site that you visit often, open that website in Safari, tap the Share button, which is the square with the up arrow, scroll down until you see Add to Home Screen, tap on that. You can adjust the wording if you want to. If I wanted to remove some of the things, I could do that. Go ahead and tap Add. It creates an app-like icon on your home screen so that it's just one tap away. This is great for frequently visited sites that you visit, like maybe your library or a tech blog that you visit often. And that's it. These 9 Safari tips can make a big difference in how easy and enjoyable it is to browse the web on your iPhone or iPad. Take your time trying them out. You don't need to remember everything at once. Just pick 1 or 2 to start. Which tip did you find most useful? Let me know in the comments section. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Well,
I think she outdid herself.
I thought she had some excellent tips.
Exactly.
That prevent cross-site tracking, I want to install that one. Yeah, definitely.
I've noticed
Thank
after updates that feature gets flipped the other way. So you want to keep an eye on it.
Well, when you say flip the other way, what does that mean?
It means it doesn't stay permanently the way you set after you do certain updates.
Oh, okay. And thanks, Bill. Good information. Any other questions or comments?
Like I said, I think she gets a blue star this today. That was very nice and informative.
Yeah.
I wonder how effective the prevention of cross-site tracking is. Is it really effective, or is it just a suggestion?
Well, maybe we should try it out. Hopefully we can get some data on that question. Moving on, the next video is one from Mac Rumors on the Apple AirPods Pro 3. And this is rumor type information, but it seems like they have a lot of information that they're drawing on to make these statements. And if you're in the market for AirPods, this might be of value. So let's take a look.
Apple's AirPods Pro are overdue for a major overhaul. While we got that minor USB-C update recently, the rumors suggest that something much bigger is coming. Fresh leaks from Apple's own codebase have revealed references to a mysterious new audio product. While we don't know for sure exactly which product it is, based on the information and where it was found and some of the rumors about the upcoming devices, it's most likely and could be AirPods Pro 3. So what are some of the new features that we might see? Well, we are expecting some pretty nice health-related features like in-ear heart rate monitoring. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is developing in-ear heart rate tracking for AirPods Pro 3. Now, the company's recent Powerbeats Pro 2 actually already captures heart rate data during workouts, but it cannot stream music to gym equipment simultaneously. Apple will need to nail seamless audio playback alongside biometric reporting if AirPods Pro 3 are to satisfy those fitness-focused users. Apple is also researching ear canal temperature sensing, which, if it ships, could offer faster, more reliable body temperature readings than the skin temperature estimates that's produced by Apple Watches from the Series 8 on up. Whether the sensor will be production ready in time for the 2025 release, well, that's a little bit unclear. Apple is also going to be updating the design of the AirPods Pro 3. The AirPods 4 got a slimmed down case, a hidden capacitive pairing button, and a concealed LED, so we could see that same change with the next AirPods Pro case. The earbuds could get a design overhaul too, and upgrade possibilities include a smaller in-ear piece and a shorter stem, and maybe there won't be a stem at all. There are tons of earbuds from other manufacturers that are like Sony and Bose, and even Apple's own Beats with the Studio Buds Plus that don't have a stem, so perhaps we could see a radical new stemless design, or maybe just a shorter one for the AirPods Pro 3. Now, going back to the case here for a second, the tracking for these AirPods Pro 3 could be much improved, as it's rumored that this generation will see a second-gen ultra-wideband chip for more precise tracking with Apple's Find My app. Apple is also upgrading the H-series chip that's in the AirPods, which is likely to bring improved audio quality. The AirPods Pro 2 support lossless audio when paired with Vision Pro, thanks to a proprietary wireless audio protocol, and Apple could expand that to other devices. Now, the AirPods Pro 3 could also adopt Bluetooth 5.4 for even better audio latency. The H3 chip will also allow for even faster on-device processing for improved active noise cancellation and better adaptive audio. So the AirPods Pro 2 already reduced the noise at 48,000 times per second with the H2 chip, but the H3 chip will be even more advanced. And lastly, a heavily rumored feature for these new AirPods Pro was live translation. But the good news here is that this feature was actually already announced by Apple and will be available for all AirPods models that are connected to an iPhone that supports Apple Intelligence, so 15 Pro and up, and running the latest iOS 26 update, which will be officially released later this year. Now, we're expecting to see the AirPods Pro 3 later this year, perhaps in the coming months at Apple's September event, where the new iPhone 17 models will be unveiled. But I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Are you planning to upgrade your AirPods Pro or AirPods Pro 2 to the latest generation if and when they come out in September? Let us know in the comments down below, and also let us know what feature you want to see on these new AirPods down in those comments. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.
So, a lot of speculation there, but
quite a few instances of the word could.
Good. Yeah, really all speculation. I don't go for the feature where smaller. I have these things to keep them getting lost, but I would like to see longer battery life. So I have these Beats. Can't remember what they call. Beats is from Apple. If you can see these, and they're in the case. And I got these because they were on sale and cheap. They're supposed to have a really long battery life, like 2 or 3 times what the AirPods do, but the sound quality is not AirPod quality.
Mm.
The trick with these Beats is you
What
gotta
about
put them in the case to
batteries?
charge them. There's no battery in the charger. Whoops. Connection request, no, cancel. Okay, so I opened the case and tried to connect to them. Yeah, there's no battery in the case, so you don't take them out and put them in the case and charge them. They only charge when they're in the case and it's plugged in. But they last a long time. How they do that, I don't know. They don't have a long stem on them.
Has Apple said anything about recycling AirPods because the batteries can't be replaced?
Right. I don't know. There was a company for a while that was, you could send them to them and they would replace them, cut them open and replace them, but they don't do that anymore.
It just seems sort of like a poor ecological choice for an
Yeah.
expensive device.
Yeah. Like the AirPods, not the Pros, but the first AirPods I had from my hand, those batteries don't work anymore. They're dead. Won't charge. So they're basically worthless.
I was hoping you were going to say they were going to make up for that loss that Apple had of the blood oxygen, that they lost that legal case, so they can't do accurate blood oxygen.
They wouldn't be able to switch it from the watch to the AirPods. It'd still be the same objection.
Yeah.
Oh, but solid state batteries are on the way.
They didn't mention the rumor that they were going to put cameras in them for AI to look around on what's around you and like somehow have some. That was a rumor.
Yeah, taking pictures out the side of your
Well,
ears.
to like recognize where you are or who, I don't know what feature would be, but
Watch out, it's cameraman.
Yeah, but
Waymo does that, takes pictures all around you.
Yeah. I'd like to add to that. I actually saw a patent by Apple of putting cameras in the stems of the iPhones. And this is in response to Johnny Ives and the AI person is trying to come up with something that doesn't resemble a phone, but works and knows everything about you. And this is probably part of it. Apple is not trying to take over, but trying to come up with something different, I guess.
Yeah. Much of this technology, it's developing, but some of it is really, really valuable. I actually got my Apple Watch because I had after COVID over a year ago, I developed AFib, and my doctors put me on a powerful, I think, blood thinner, Pradaxa, which I was to take for the rest of my life. And the watch actually tracks AFib and reports on it. And I haven't had AFib in a year now. So I stopped taking the Pradaxa. Now, I don't recommend that as medical recommendations for anybody else, but
did you get that on a recommendation of your doctor? You told me you were stop taking it?
I have discussed it with my doctor.
So were you basing that you don't have AFib anymore because the watch isn't telling you you do?
Yeah, basically, I'm trusting that the watch is getting it right in terms of whether I have AFib or not.
But doesn't the watch only look for AFib when you're actually using the ECG app? It doesn't track just as you're moving around, does it?
Well,
No, it tracks all the time, Kenji.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
it'll
it gives
give me
you a
a
warning.
weekly
It'll give you a
report.
warning.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll give you an instantaneous warning if AFib were to
It's
start.
supposed to. That's the
But
whole thing. You tell, and boom, boom, it'll give you a warning. You got AFib.
right,
You better go check it out. Go to the doctor.
right. I haven't had AFib, so I haven't gotten any warnings, but what I get is a report each week stating that the level of AFib has been less than 2% or something like that, which is the lowest level that they track. Anyway,
Just to add to that, the short, remember Chris Wysocki, his friend had heart problems, and I believe it was AFib, and the watch actually told him while he was sitting in a chair, and they ended up in the hospital. At way back then, I think. So I guess it's on all the time.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the case. Anyway, let's move on. The next video is with Tom Wells of Simple Honest Tech, I believe, and he has 10 tips worthy of listening. Let's go.
I've been sharing Mac productivity tips for years now, but I'm still surprised by how often I come across features that most Mac users have never heard of. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 Mac tips that every Mac owner should know, but probably doesn't. Okay, let's get into it. So here I've got two Finder windows open, and there's a file in one location that I want to move to another. Now Finder can be a little unintuitive here because the default keyboard shortcut is Command and C to copy, and then Command and V to paste. But that just creates a copy. If you actually want to move the file instead of copying it, you'd still use Command and C to copy the file, but then press Command, Option, and V to move it to the new location, removing it from the original spot. When it comes to drag and drop though, it's the opposite. If you drag a file from one location to another, it moves the file by default. But if you'd prefer to copy the file, so you keep the original in its place, hold down the Option key while dragging it. You'll see a little green plus icon to show you that it's going to be copied. You can use this exact same method to duplicate a file within the same folder. Just press and hold Option and drag the file slightly within the same window, and it will create a duplicate. And if you'd rather use a keyboard shortcut to duplicate a file, that one's easy. Just press Command and D. Maybe you've got a video file on your Mac and you need to convert it into a different format, shrink the file size, or even extract just the audio. You can do all of this directly in Finder without using any third-party apps. Just right-click on the video file and scroll to the bottom of the menu where you'll see an option called Encode Selected Video Files. A window will pop up, though you might need to resize it to see everything clearly. From here, click into the Setting drop-down and you'll get a few options like H.264 or HEVC with different resolution choices. So if you've got a 4K video, but you want to convert it to 1080p, you can do that here. There's also the option to convert into Apple ProRes or select audio only if you just want to extract the sound from the file. Under Destination, you can choose a specific folder or leave it set to same as source file so the converted version appears right next to the original. You can even tick a box to delete the original file after conversion. Once you're happy with your settings, just press Continue and your Mac will take care of the rest. On newer Apple Silicon machines, this should all happen very quickly. I'm sure you already know that pressing Command, Shift, and 4 brings up a little crosshair that you can use to select a portion of your screen and take a screenshot. But the problem with this method is that once the screenshot is captured, you get a little preview in the corner of your screen, and you have to act pretty quickly if you want to drag that into something like an email or a note. If you'd prefer to have more time, here's what you would do. Press and hold Command, Shift, and 4 as usual, then select the area that you'd like to capture. But before you let go of your cursor, press and hold the Control key. This tells your Mac to copy the screenshot directly to your clipboard instead of saving it as a file. You can now take your time, go and draft your email or open your document, and when you're ready, press Command and V to paste the screenshot straight from your clipboard. If you're into productivity tips for your Mac, you'll know that sometimes the biggest gains come from tools that help you get ideas out of your head and into something usable fast. And that's exactly what today's sponsor, Gamma, is all about. Gamma is like PowerPoint, Notion, and Canva rolled into one, but with AI built in. You just type a prompt and Gamma builds a full presentation, document, or web page for you in seconds. It's structured, styled, and ready to go. But what's great is how flexible it is. You can paste in some notes, import a file, or just start from scratch with a one-line idea. Everything is built in cards, kind of like slides, and you can move things around, rewrite sections, change the tone, or even ask the AI to expand a point with a single click. Same goes for images. Here, for example, I've got an image and I want to remove the background. One click. Or maybe I want to change the subject entirely, swap the style, or drop in a different color palette. Gamma's AI tools handle all of that. You can even describe the vibe you're after, and it will generate brand new visuals that match. I've been using it to help me with some of my training content and social posts, and honestly, it's so much faster than starting from scratch. What's clever is that you can start with a single source, like some notes or a rough outline, and Gamma will generate multiple assets from it. A deck, a document, a web page, even a social carousel, and everything stays on brand and beautifully designed straight away. It's all online, no software to install, and you can share your final version as a link, export it as a PowerPoint or PDF, or even embed it on your website. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, just click the link in the description of this video. Let's say you're sending a link to someone in an email. Most people would type out their message, leave a space, and then just paste the full link in using Command and V. The problem is that doesn't look especially tidy. There is a much better way to do it that takes the same amount of time but looks way more professional. Just type out your message as usual, then highlight the portion of text that you want to turn into a link. Press Command and K on your keyboard and a text box will appear. You can then paste your link into that box using Command and V. Hit OK and your hyperlink will be inserted neatly into the text instead of showing up as a separate messy URL. Chances are you've got at least one or two apps that you always want to have open every time that you restart your Mac. For me, it's apps like Moon, which is a great window manager, and Moz, a free tool that improves how third-party mice, like Logitech ones, work with the Mac. There's never really a time when I wouldn't want those apps running straight away, so I've set them to automatically launch whenever my Mac starts up. To do this, just open System Settings, choose General from the sidebar, then go into Login, Items, and Extensions. Right at the top of that page, you'll see Open at Login. Tap the plus button here, select Applications from the sidebar in the Finder window that appears, then scroll through the list and choose the app that you want. tap open, and that app will now launch automatically every time that your Mac starts up. If you see anything in this list that you don't want opening by itself, just highlight it and press the minus button. That won't uninstall or quit the app. It just means that you'll have to open it manually next time that you restart your Mac. If you own AirPods, whether that's AirPods Max, Pro, or regular AirPods, you might occasionally want to check what firmware they're running, and your Mac makes it really easy to find this information. As long as the AirPods have connected to your Mac recently, you'll see them listed in the Bluetooth section of Control Center, even if they're not currently connected. To check the firmware version, click into Control Center in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Then, instead of just clicking the arrow next to Bluetooth, hold down the Option key on your keyboard and then click the arrow. This brings up a way more detailed list of information about all the Bluetooth devices that have connected to your Mac, including their current firmware version. This can be really useful if you're troubleshooting or trying to work out whether one of your devices is due a firmware update. And while I've used AirPods as the example here, this trick works with any Bluetooth device that connects to your Mac. Unfortunately, Mac apps freezing up is still a pretty common occurrence. So the next time you get the little spinning beach ball of death and you're not sure what to do, try to remember this particular keyboard shortcut. Press Command, Option, and Escape all at the same time, and a Force Quit Applications box will appear on your screen. Then just use your arrow keys or your mouse to select the app that isn't responding and press the Force Quit button. In most cases, this will shut the app down completely, and you can usually reopen it straight away to get back to what you were doing. Just keep in mind this is only something that you would use when the app won't close on its own. The normal keyboard shortcut for quitting an app, by the way, is Command and Q. The dock on your Mac is useful, but it can be a bit limiting when it comes to organization. You can rearrange the apps from left to right, but that's about it. However, if you use a specific terminal command, you can actually insert blank app tiles into the dock, and these act as spacer tiles, letting you break your dock into sections and organize your apps into categories. To do this, first copy the terminal command that I've included in the description of this video. It's too long and complicated to display on screen. Then press Command and the spacebar to open Spotlight Search. Type in terminal and press return to open it. Now press Command and V to paste the command into terminal and hit return. You'll see a blank space has been added to the right-hand side of your dock. You can just click and drag it wherever you want it to go. And if you want to add more separators, just repeat the process as many times as you like. And if you ever change your mind, just right-click on any of the separator tiles and choose Remove from Dock. Simple. Spotlight Search is probably the best way to find anything on your Mac, but I think a lot of people avoid using it because the results can feel a bit overwhelming. If you search for something like invoice, for example, your Mac is going to return results from all over the place. Emails, reminders, documents, web results, even dictionary definitions. That isn't much help if you're looking for something specific. The best way to tidy this up is to use a search filter, and the one that I think every Mac owner should remember is the phrase kind : So if you press Command and space to open Spotlight and you type kind : mail, followed by a space, then a search term like invoice, Spotlight will only return results from your mail app. If you know that you're looking for a PDF, you can type kind : PDF and then your keyword, and you'll only see PDF documents. Or if you think that the item that you're looking for is in a specific folder, you can search kind : folder and then your keyword to see all of the folders that match. It's a simple trick that lets you take control of Spotlight Search and make it work the way that you want. If you use your phone to take photos of receipts and store them in the Photos app, your Mac will automatically sort those into their own folder. To find it, open the Photos app and look in the sidebar on the left. Expand the Utilities section and you'll see an option called Receipts. Click into this and any receipts that your Mac has identified will appear here for quick access. Now, if you want to send one of those receipts to someone, you don't need to send the full image complete with background. Just double-click to open the photo, then right-click directly on the receipt. Your Mac will isolate the subject of the photo, which in this case is the receipt, and give you two options: copy subject or share subject. If you copy it, the receipt will go to your clipboard, so you can paste it wherever you like. If you choose share subject, you'll get a share sheet straight away with all of your usual options, and the background will be automatically removed from the image. And this even works in Safari too. So if you find an image on a web page and right-click on it, you won't see the share subject option, but you will see copy subject. Once copied, it works in exactly the same way. Background removed, ready to be pasted wherever you need it. So there you go, 10 tips for the Mac that I reckon most owners have no clue about. What about you? Anything in here that caught you by surprise? Or anything that you think I should have included? Drop me a comment and let me know. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.
Wow. I
Big
do
commercial in the
apologize
middle.
for the gamma ad that was in the middle of all that,
Yeah,
but
big one.
yeah, there was a lot of pretty worthwhile tips in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we decided last time this guy's really good. I mean, he speaks quickly because he's got X amount of time to say everything, but you can hear it all. It's just like he's speaking at maybe 125% of the rest of us from the South.
What's his name or the name of the site?
Tom Wells, Wells.
But you can sign up for a newsletter of his. I've done it. He covers a lot and he's good. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm really impressed with this guy. Peter, you used him last time, didn't you?
I might
Turned us on to him.
that was a couple months ago when I last shared.
Yeah, I think you turned us on to him. He's pretty good.
His
Yeah.
videos are
Peter,
pretty long.
you can
All over.
slow that video down in
YouTube.
Playback?
Yeah, before when you download it to Downey, or before you download it to Downey, you go over to settings and slow it down to like 90%, and it'll slow down.
I'm more on the autism scale, and so I just let it play out, and I just hit stop whenever I need to make a note or something.
Yeah.
Because I also wish that there was a way to turn it into to eliminate this guy's accent, but
Yeah, well, slowing down, it never occurred to me to do that. It would take up more time.
yeah, it would.
Sharing, but
That's right.
yeah, it's an interesting concept, and
Yeah.
the Mac lets you do that. You can pretty much play any file and change the speed on it.
Well, Bruce, I
You
think
can also turn on subtitles.
yeah, I was going to
Right.
say there's got to be a subtitle or just Google Translate the whole thing.
Mhm.
There you go.
Put it into American English, not the Queen's English. It'll be fun.
I wanted to make a comment. He covered something about receipts, and I'm finding Apple's algorithm, or however they do it, to determine what's a receipt at times is totally comical.
Really?
And other things that I know were receipts that I took images of, it misses. So it's an area they need to improve.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I use it religiously because I'm one of those people that take the receipt, even at restaurants and stuff. And I have had no problems with it. I love it. When someone says, "How much was that?" They want to split the bill up later. It's like, here's the receipt, bing, bing, bing. I love that feature. And the fact that it goes into its own folder, I don't have to go looking for it. Much better.
What I was saying, though, is it identifies things that aren't receipts at all and puts them in the folder.
Well, the only good thing about it, I guess, Bill, is that if you can go through your photos and dig out the old receipt somewhere, but it isn't gone, but it was missed for the folder. I have one more video. It's 2 minutes long. Do we have time to show it? What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this one is from Apple support on how to change your passcode and turn on stolen device protection. I think there was some talk about that in the DVMUG folder recently.
If you need to change your passcode and review your security settings on your iPhone, you can do it right from Settings. Here's how. On a device with Face ID, in Settings, scroll down and tap Face ID and Passcode. On a device with Touch ID, tap Touch ID and Passcode instead. Next, on either device, enter your current passcode. Then scroll down and tap Change Passcode. Enter your current passcode again. Now enter a new one and re-enter the new passcode to confirm. If you'd like to review your settings that might allow access to your data, tap Review Access. You can tap Reset All to reset all the settings that might allow access to your data, or tap More Options. From here, you can tap Go to Safety Check to review and manage all settings related to your data and Apple account security, or tap Don't Reset Access if you're satisfied with your current settings. You can also add another layer of security to your iPhone by turning on Stolen Device Protection. To do that, tap Stolen Device Protection. Then tap to turn it on. Delay will now be required to perform some security actions if you're not at a familiar location. If you'd like to change that to always require a delay, even in familiar locations, you can tap Always. When you're finished, tap the Back button to save your settings. And that's how to change your passcode and review your security settings on your iPhone.
Any questions or comments on that one?
We've got people at the clinic who have stolen device protection turned on, who need to reset their password or some issue with their Apple ID, and they can't do it because they're not at home. So it says you have to wait for I don't know how many hours, or go home and do it, so we can't get it done. But that's okay. I mean, that's what it's for. If somebody's stealing your phone, they're not at your house, then they can't change your Apple ID. That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, folks, it's been good. I think it's time to let people have their question and answer period. So let's go ahead and move on. And
Well, Peter, you did a good job.
well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate that.
I'll join in that.
I don't know what all goes into it, but you did it very well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the other three people who are working on creating this kind of programming for our group. Anyway, I'll stop my share.
Good job.